Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Purnamasari from Manajemen 2015. Dear Examiner 1, Mrs. Dr. Dewi Susita SE M.Si. Examiner 2, Mr. Dr. Christian Wiradendi Wolor SE MM. Examiner 3, Mrs. Dr. Dra.Sholikhah MM. Would like to present my thesis, The Influence of Career Development and Work Discipline on Employees' Work Stratification, the case in Programming Division of PT.X. Outline: Introduction, Literature Study, Research Method, Research Methodology, Research and Explanation, Conclusion and Recommendation. Introduction. Research background: job stratification can be an approach to improve better and optimal work result. Job stratification can also be a crucial factor that plays a role in achieving the success of a company. However, companies can also experience fluctuating change and encounter various problems that hinder employee stratification. If this happens, it can cause various problems for the company. Job stratification problems can be seen from the high level of absenteeism, which has an impact on the routine work activities of its employee in the programming division of PT.X. Apart from that, the quizzer also found other problems that can be seen from the obstruction of career development in the programming division employees of PT.X. Other problems also arise in employee discipline, which can be seen from the low value of discipline in the programming section at PT.X. Problem of the research. From the description of the previous that the research formulate the problems that will be described in the study email. How is the description of career development, work discipline, and job stratification of employees in the programming division at PT.X? Does career development affect employee job stratification in the programming department at PT.X? Does work discipline affect employee job stratification in the programming department at PT.X? Can the career development research model and work discipline predict the job stratification of the programming department employee at PT.X? Research objective to be carried out in the research is a flow. Research objective to find out the description of career development, work discipline, and job stratification of employees in the programming division at PT.X, to determine the effect of career development on job stratification of employees in the programming department at PT.X, to find out the effect of work discipline on job stratification of employees in the programming department at PT.X, to find out if the research model of career development and work discipline can predict job stratification of employees in the programming department at PT.X. Literature study. Employees work stratification. Job stratification is an individual emotional attitude that appears in the form of feelings of happiness and appreciate certain feelings, but in positive and negative terms based on an evaluation of the individual work experience on work life. By Marlek and Kajanova, 2017, Tepret and Tuna, 2015, Eluf, 2017, Waspodo et al., 2017. Career development. X1. Career development is a series of behavioral transition and individual effort to manage their career in employee by following various complex organizational mechanisms, but education and training in developing try skill at a certain time. By Kitana dan and Karam 2017, Sarana Nga et al. 2017, Sholikhah et al. 2018. Work Discipline X2. Work discipline is an individual awareness and understanding in complying with all written and unwritten regulation and is subject to company policies. By Dewi, Dewani 2019, Arab et al. 2019, Susita et al. 2017, Santoso and Sidang 2019. Hypothesis 1. H0. Career development has not affect no employee job certification in the programming division at PT.X. HI. Career development affect job certification of the programming division employee at PT.X. Hypothesis 2. H0. Work discipline has no effect on job certification of the programming division employee at PT.X. HI. Work discipline affect job certification of the programming division employees at PT.X. Hypothesis 3. H0. Research models of career development of work discipline cannot predict job certification of employees in the programming division at PT.X. HI. Research models of career development work discipline can predict job certification of employees in the programming division at PT.X. Research methodology. Research methodology. Place and of research. PT.X is located in Jakarta, March-December 2020. Research design, descriptive, knowing and explaining the characteristic of the variable research in a situation. Explanatory, describes the relationship between two or more symptoms or variables. Population and sample. Population. All employees of programming division in PT.X are 116 employees. Sample 116. Sampling technique. Structured sampling. Determination of the sample when all members of the population are used as the sample. By Sekaran and Begue 2010. Technique of taking data. Questionnaire Likert measurement scales 1, 5 and secondary data. Data analysis method. Validity test, reliability test, normality test, linearity test, multicollinearity test, heteroskedasticity test, descriptive analysis, multiple linear regression test. T-test, F-test, coefficient of determination, result and explanation. These are the characteristics of respondents based on their gender, age, and level of education. These are the characteristics of respondents based on their material status and years of work. Validity test. Based on the table below and it can be seen the result of the validity test of its variables have a count value that higher than R table, so it states that all variables are valid. These are the result of validity test. Based on this, all research instruments are valid. These are the result of validity test. Based on this, the research instruments are valid. Reliability test. Based on the table below, it can be seen the result of the reliability test of each variable obtained based alpha score of more than 0.6. So it is stated that all variables are reliable. Descriptive analysis of career development. In the first dimension, the percent of STS at TS as well is 81.90% when compared with the score interpretation criteria. The dimension is in the very low category 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated the career development of employees when viewed from this dimension is still very low. Descriptive analysis of career development. In the second dimension, the percentage of STS and TS as well is 81%. One compared with the score interpretation criteria, the dimension is in the very low category, 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated that the career development of employees when viewed for the dimension is still very low. Descriptive analysis of career development. In the third dimension, the percentage of STS and TS answer is 80.60%. One compared with the score interpretation criteria, the dimension in is the very low category, 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated the career development of employees when viewed from the dimension is still very low. Descriptive analysis of career development. From the overall average of career development variable, it can be seen that the total percent of STS and TS for the variable is 82.74%. One compared with the score interpretation criteria, the career development variable is in the very low category, 81% up to 100%. This indicates that the career development employee of the programming division in PT.X is still very low. Descriptive analysis of work discipline. In the first dimension, the percentage of STS and TS answer is 85.93%. When compared with the score in prestation criteria, the dimension in the very low, 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated that employee work discipline when viewed from this dimension is still very low. Describe analysis of work discipline. In the second dimension, the percentage of STS and TS as well is 87.67%. When compared with the score interpretation criteria, the dimension is in the very low category, 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated that employee work discipline when viewed from this dimension is still very low. Work discipline analysis of work discipline. In the third dimension, the percentage of STS and TS as well is 82.77%. When compared with the score interpretation criteria, the dimension is in the very low category, 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated that employee work discipline when viewed from this dimension is still very low. Discipline analysis of work discipline. In the fourth dimension, the percentage of STS and TS answer is 87.07%. When compared with the score interpretation criteria, the dimension is in the very low category, 81% up to 100%. So it can be stated that employee work discipline when viewed from this dimension is still very low. Descriptive analysis of work discipline. From the overall average of work discipline variables, it can be seen that the percentage of STS and TS answer for the variable is 85.86% when compared with the score interpretation criteria. The work discipline variable is in the very low category, 81% up to 100%. This indicates that the work discipline owned by the employees of the programming division in PT.X is still very low. Normality test. The overall value has a value greater than the significant level of 0.05 based on the result of the normality test. It can be concluded that all variables in this study are normally distributed so that it meets the requirement of parametric statistical methods of multilinear regression analysis. Linearity test between career development and work stratification. Based on the result of the linearity test between career development with work stratification is known to have a significant value on linearity of 0.000, so it can be concluded the two variables have a linear relationship of effect. Linearity test between work discipline and work stratification. Based on the result of the linearity test between work discipline with work stratification is not to have a significant value on linearity of 0.000, so it can be concluded that the two variables have a linear relationship or effect. Heteroscedasticity test. The heteroscedasticity test uses the Park method, which is carried out by grazing the independent variable to the natural logarithmic value of the squared residual value if the significant value is greater than 0.05. That means 3 are no problems related to heteroscedasticity in the study. It can be seen from the table that the significant value of each variable on the natural logarithm of the squared residual value is 0.650 x1 and 0.560 x2. These values are greater than, so it can be concluded that there is not heteroscedasticity. Multicollinearity. Based on the multicollinearity test, it is not that the F value for both the career development and work discipline in 2.119, the F value of all independent variables in less than, so 3 are no multicollinearity problems between the two independent variables. This means that companies and work environment do not have a strong correlation with the regression models in Apex. T-test career development on work stratification based on the following table that calculate value for the career development variable is 7.960. This value is higher than the table of 1,981,567. Also, the significant value is 0.000. This smaller than 0.05. It can conclude that H0 is rejected and HI is accepted. This means that career development has a positive and significant include of work stratification in programming division employee of PT.X. T-test work discipline work stratification. Based on the following table, the concluded value for the work discipline variable in 2.354. This value is higher than the table of 1,981,560. Also, the significant value is 0.020. This smaller than 0.005. It can be concluded that H0 is rejected and HI is accepted. This means that working discipline has a positive and significant influence on work stratification in programming division employees of PT.X. F-test. Based on the table above, it can be seen that all independent variables have a significant value of 0.000, which is smaller than 0.05. This shows that HO03 in rejected and HI3 in accepted. So it can be concluded that variable of career development and work discipline simultaneously have significant influence of work stratification in programming division employees of PT.X. Adjusted R-square test. From the test, it can be seen that the adjusted R-square in 0.637, which is mean the ability of the career development and work discipline variable in explaining employees' work stratification is 63.7%, while the remaining 36.3% is explaining by other factor not examined. Conclusion and recommendation. Conclusion. This description of career development flat by the employee of programming in PT.X belongs to the very low category. This can be seen from the result of the questionnaire where the number of answers is strongly disagree and disagree category research 81.89%. From age dimension, the indicator that contributes the most to the law of career development is indicator 4, indicator 6, indicator 9. Description of work discipline owned by the employee of programming in PT.X belongs to the very low category. This can be seen from the result of the questionnaire where the number of answers is strongly disagree and disagree category research 85 point in 4 of 20 is percent. From each dimension, the indicator that contribute the most to the low work discipline was indicator 2, indicator 4, indicator 9, and indicator 10. Description of work stratification flat by the employees of programming PT.X belongs to the low category. This can be seen from the result of the questionnaire where the number of answers is strongly disagree category research. From each dimension, the indicator that contribute the most the low job stratification was indicator 1, indicator 5, indicator 9. Career development has a significant positive effect on work stratification in programming employees of PT.X. This shows that the better the career development flat by employees, the higher the work stratification flat by employees. However, if career development is flat, to be getting worse, employees' work stratification will decrease. Work discipline has a significant positive effect on work stratification in programming employees at PT.X. This shows that the better the employees' work discipline, the higher the work stratification felt by the employees. However, if work discipline worsens, employees' work stratification will decrease. Career development model and work discipline can predict employee job stratification in the programming division PT.X. Recommendation: to overcome the problems in the career development variable, research provide suggestion for companies to provide more opportunity to develop employees' career from giving them more varied tasks, implementing a transparent job rotation policy, and doing more socialization about career development opportunities. This can be done by evaluating the system in the company related to assigning tasks to employees, jobs rotation, and overall career development program. To overcome the problems in the work discipline variable, research provide suggestion for companies to clarify and detail the regulation that apply in the company by changing or amending test regulation while considering the suggestion for the employees the most inflated parties of those policies. This regulation might include policies that regulate the discipline bonus, the discipline supervisor policies, and discipline preventive policies. To overcome the problems in the job stratification variable, research provide suggestion for companies to improve job supporting facilities, organize and discuss incentive policy to employees, and improve the employee supervision system. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.